Zero to Hero has been an article series that has been going for quite a while, and Tiaan van Zyl always talks to the, how can I say, the heroes, the latest heroes. And he asked me to do this one while we've got Greg in the studio, and let me do it as best as I can on Tiaan's behalf. Greg, thank you for joining us again.
Pleasure.
um, I would just like to quickly explain to the viewers why, in our view, you are a hero. So, Greg went over to Spain and he performed extremely well in two esteemed championships. The first one was the Iberian Masters, which is an international tournament where he came fifth out of 70 odd anglers, and these are not any angler, these are world class anglers. And then he went over to the World Championships, the Masters World Championship, as a debutant Protea angler. And he did the best of the South African team and he came 15th in that tournament. On the second day, he had a second place overall, 100 grams short of a first place. That is why, in our eyes, he is really a hero. So let's hear from him a little bit more about his angling career. Greg, tell us about Greg and fishing.
Well, then I was fortunate enough to grow up on a plot on the banks of the Vaal River.
Lekker, dis bedaf.
Yeah, when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. So I used to fish with our plot boy Simon, using a small stick rod and whatnot. But basically that's where the bug bit.
And, that's like 60 years ago.
That's 60 years ago, yeah, more than 60 years ago actually. And then when I later on in life, my brother-in-law and one of my best friends were fishing for a club, and they talked me into going. Having not fished for a hell of a long time, besides social fishing, I joined the club, which was a Requin Angling Club. Then I fished there for quite a few years.
What was that, normal bank?
It was normal bank angling, Papua, yeah.
Did you represent a province at the nationals or so?
Man, I was chosen to fish for Gauteng, but then I saw the politics involved in all that jazz. So the day after I was chosen, I withdrew from the team. And then, I just basically fished club comps, and I won the club championships, I think 2 or 3 times. And then Jumbo built his shop around the corner from us, and every time I went in to buy stuff.
Now that's later years.
That's much later.
So for many years, you're almost 70 years old now. So for many years, you've just fished.
I've just fished socially, like down at Rock and Surf, and just social fishing basically. That's it. I fished for the love of it basically.
Okay, and then what happened when Jammies?
And then Jammies moved in there, and he had a seat box in the corner from the previous World Championships, and friends of mine told Jumbo that I could fish. They were members of Requin. And then he was on my case, and he said, "Uncle, that seat box is yours." I said, "Nah, Jammies, I've got no time for that, Then eventually he made me take it home. And then I paid him, paid him.
As persistent as he can be.
Yes, and then my first comp I went to go and fish with him, I was using old Sensation rods, and we fished at Moormans, and I lost a fish in the last probably 5 minutes that would have given me the win for the day at my first comp. So then he knew, he got his claws in me, and he said, "That's it, I'm not fishing feeder." And came to love feeder fishing, and and Jim and I, we became very good friends, and best friends basically.
And then you started fishing, and then yes. When was the first time that you actually presented the province and went to a national?
Basically the second year that I was fishing feeder, I fished for Free State, I think their C team.
Yeah.
And I went down to the nationals there where I didn't do too badly. The following year I went and I won the nationals in the C division. Uh-huh. And after that, I've been fishing Free State B team.
And then you went to the Masters as well, where at Denale
That's right, yes.
for Free State as well.
That's right,
Where
yes.
you as a team also did well. And
Yes.
you personally didn't do too bad
Yes, yeah, I think it's top 6 or top 8
Yeah.
or something. Yeah, I think you were in my zone and you nailed me.
Yeah, but that was in the last half an hour.
That was,
You had me worried.
Yeah,
I was fortunate that year to be Victor.
Yeah, you won it. That's
Yeah.
right, yes. Yeah.
Okay, and then how did it come about for you to become a Protea angler?
I think after all the last couple of essays and the trials and whatnot, I think the previous 2 essays I've been in the top 5, I think. And then obviously with my fishing for SAFOF and all that, I've qualified for my colours, and that's when it came about.
What would you say is the most important thing in terms of mindset to grow from an angler, a club angler, or a social recreational angler, to a provincial and a Protea angler? What has to happen in your mind, in your skills, in your entire makeup? What's the transformation needed?
Okay, well, I think first of all, you've got to be competitive. I've been competitive in everything I've done all my life. And then if you're at the water, you might as well try your best. You might as well try and finish as high as you can. And then the support from all my friends and my family, I think that's quite important as well.
How competitive are you?
Well, everything I do, I try and win. I've got colours in most sports I've ever played in. So, if I play darts against you, I want to beat you. If I play pool against you, I want to beat you. I mean, you have to have that competitive streak in you, yes.
How do you feel the day where you think you can win, but you don't? What do you do on a day like that?
Well, you go back and you reflect, and then what you think you did wrong, you try not to do wrong the next time. You try and just get it absolutely right every time.
How do you handle, or how do you behave towards your competitors if you get a good beating? Do you come back with revenge? How do you behave towards them?
Well, it depends if they're my friend or not. But if the guy does well, he does everything right. It's kudos to him. It's well done. There's no hard feelings or I'm going to get you next time or whatever. It is what it is. You must realize when you do fishing, it's a great equalizer. One day you're high and the next day you're low. It's you got to look over the whole spread of the events, that how you've done over the.
How important is good sportsmanship in any sport?
It's paramount. It's paramount, absolutely paramount.
Does bad sportsmanship ever come back and bite you?
Yes, I believe it does. There's that thing called karma. I believe it does.
Have you been hit by karma before?
Fortunately, I haven't made enough nonsense to have karma.
Okay, so you preemptively learned.
Yes.
You decided not to go there and stay on the straight and narrow with respect to that.
Absolutely.
What attributes do you believe makes or separate good anglers from great anglers, or great anglers from good anglers?
I think it's your commitment to the sport and your passion. You've got to stay committed and passionate, obviously, about it. If you just go to make up the numbers and whatnot, you're never going to get anywhere. You've got to want to achieve something for to actually work out for you.
What are the 3 biggest things that you learned from Jumbo?
Number 1, game plan. Okay. Number 2, your casting ability. You must cast on the spot. And I think more than anything else, if you're going to do it, you must do it properly. Make sure your kit is right. Make sure your mental attitude is right.
No half measures.
No half measures. If you're going to go there, you've taken time to go there, do it properly.
What advice? You've reached this top of your angling career, but also not only of your angling career. I think in the eyes of many a South African angler, you are really a hero. You're really top class. And even in my eyes, especially at your age, to reach that top level, gives me some hope. I've still got 10 years to actually read something, so it is possible. So it is possible indeed. And it's not only at the Masters from an age perspective that you did well, you also did well at the Seniors Championship. The Iberian Masters was normal senior anglers, and you beat the crap out of them. What advice can you give to new upcoming anglers?
Well, if they're going to do it, they must do it properly. Buy the correct equipment, number one. Number two, surround yourself with people that are passionate about the sport and love the sport as much as you do. They will bounce things off you all the time. My Free State buddies, they have been paramount in my experience. And if it wasn't for them, they keep you interested. They keep the competition there. They keep you on your toes. You need people like that around you. And if you can surround yourself with people like that, you're going to just climb and climb and climb.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. To our young viewers, that's what you've got to do. Make sure you are committed. That's the lesson that I take here is nou half measured. Doen 'n ding ordentlik. Jy weet, daar's baie ouens wat praat, maar ek sê ook altyd, daar's baie myle tussen doen en sê. So wat Greg nou bevestig hier is, you've got to put your money where your mouth is. So doen dit ordentlik. Van jou equipment tot jou training, tot jou uitvoer. Greg, baie dankie. Ek het baie by jou geleer. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.